Let me first of all say that, Ellen, who just introduced me, was the first volunteer to walk into our Manchester office. Look what she has gotten started here in Manchester. It's unbelievable. Give Ellen a big round of applause. We're so grateful to her. I want to thank Mary Westphal for providing the invocation, to Bill Whitmore, who led the pledge and is a Vietnam veteran. We are grateful for his service. We are thankful to White Katner, the field organizer here in Manchester. We've got some wonderful elected officials here, starting with the first couple of New Hampshire, Governor John Lynch and Dr. Susan Lynch. Give them a big round of applause. We are thrilled to have one of the best new congresswomen that we've got, Carol Shea Porter. Give her a big round of applause. To the chairman of the New Hampshire Democratic Party, Raymond Buckley, and to a couple of great state senators who are here, Senator Lou D'Alessandro and Betsy DeVries. Give them a big round of applause. To all the other local state senators and state representatives, county and local officials, thank you, and most of all, thanks to all of you. There are a lot of people here who put in a lot of time in this campaign, and I am grateful. We are enjoying a beautiful day here in New Hampshire. But I think it's appropriate for us to begin by thinking about those families that are having their lives upended as a consequence of Hurricane Ike in the Gulf. I've been on the phone with the head of FEMA and the mayor of Houston and others who are trying to grapple with this tremendous storm. We don't yet know what the damage is going to be. We know that 100,000 homes have probably been lost. We know that 4 million people are without power. Search and rescue teams are just now getting into Galveston, where we know that a large proportion of the population did not evacuate. And so this could be a very difficult and trying time for the people who live in the Gulf. So I think it's important for us to make sure that we are keeping them in our thoughts and prayers today. And I know that one of the things that we've seen after Gustav, one of the things that we saw after Katrina and Rita, is that during difficult times, during moments of tragedy, the American people come together. We may argue, we may differ, but we are all Americans, and one of the principles of this great country is that during times of need, we are all in it together. And it doesn't matter whether we are Democrat or Republican, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American. We are there for each other at moments of need. So I hope that this enormous crowd is going to be monitoring the situation. I suspect that the Red Cross, already burdened with Gustav and helping out in the wake of that storm, is going to need more resources. We may end up needing volunteers and supplies, and I know that all of you will be there if that should become necessary. You will help them. I have confidence. Now, even as we think about this enormous hurricane that's moving its way through the Gulf, I think one of the things I've learned over the last 19 months is that a lot of people are going through their own trials and their own tribulations. There are a lot of quiet storms that are taking place throughout America. All across America, I meet people who have seen their jobs shipped overseas. And they haven't lost only their job, they've lost their health care, they've lost their pension, and they've lost the sense of dignity that comes with work. All across America, I've met couples who don't have health care even though they've worked all their lives. Maybe they lost their job at the age of 55. Maybe a company reneged on its commitment to provide them health care after they retired. All across America, I meet young people who have the grades and the will and the drive to go to college, but don't have the money. All across America, there are children growing up without a stable home, in schools that are underfunded and uninspired, young children who don't see any path for themselves other than a path to jail or a path to drugs or, in some case, a path to death. All across America, there are families who have always understood themselves as middle class, who knew that if they played by the rules, if they tried, they could make it here in America because that was America's promise. That it didn't matter where you were born or what you looked like, that if you were willing to put in the effort, that you could achieve your dreams, that you could buy a home and be able to care for your family, that you wouldn't be bankrupt if you got sick, that you would be able to retire with dignity and with respect, that you could send your child to a good school and watch them march off a stage with a diploma in hand someday. And yet they feel that American dream, that American promise slipping away. All across America, people are working harder for less. And all across America, it's harder to save and harder to retire. And people are concerned not just for their own immediate well-being, but they're concerned what's happened to that promise? What's happened to that dream? Are we going to be the first generation in a very long time that passes on an America that's a little less prosperous, a little less unified, a little poorer, and a little meaner than the one we inherited from our parents? That's the question on people's minds in this election. That's the reason that we gather here today. We are here to say enough is enough, that we are going to bring about change that makes a difference in the lives of ordinary people, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States of America. Think about it. Think about it. Think about what we've gone through over the last 8 years. We've seen incomes and wages flatline. When Bill Clinton was president, the average family income went up $7,500. Since George Bush has been in office, your average family income has gone down $2,000. We have seen the highest unemployment rate for at least 5 years, and we expect that with what's happening on Wall Street, things may get worse. We have the highest foreclosure rate since the Great Depression. We have seen the federal government having to intervene now to bail out major institutions on Wall Street because somebody was asleep at the switch. And so even if you haven't lost your home, you've seen your home value